right. For those of you guys who have been practicing with me, you know that I've been having issues with this mic. So can you tell me if you can hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Hi, Janet. Can you guys hear me on this mic? Is this mic going to fail me again? Yes, you can hear me. No breaking up, nothing weird. We're good? Oh my God. Amazing. Okay. We're in. So I feel like this is going to be the best angle for those of you who did my headless yoga flow a couple weeks ago. I think that I can do this one with my head too. Not that you need to see my face. Tiffany thought I was just trying to be artsy, but that really wasn't the case. If you guys have 2 blocks, grab 2 blocks. I'm just trying to get set up here. Okay, you guys can hear me. Amazing. That's okay. If you don't have blocks, you'll be totally fine. Just have something, Sonia, if you don't have blocks, just something that if you need, you can use like a stack of books or something, but you can totally do this without blocks. If you have them, great. How are you guys doing? Did you guys watch my Vegas video? It's pretty hilarious. I said I'd never go back, but I feel like I'll never say no to going anywhere ever again. I'll go anywhere. Just gonna find my playlist here. Hope you guys enjoyed some of this beautiful day and got outside. I took my dog on a nice long walk. Just trying to bore you with my day for a moment while I find this playlist. Really went into the archives here. Where did it go? That's just an email from Aritzia saying they're having a sale. Everything's $5 off. All right, this will do. Can still hear me? If anything happens there, somebody can text me. I should get it on my watch. All right. Let's do this. We're going to begin on our backs. So go ahead and make your way onto your back. And to start with the knees bent, the feet wide, and the knees are going to drop together to center and place your hands onto your body and take a moment to just simply breathe. Check in. How are you feeling today? Notice how the sun affects your mood, helps you out. And then just start to notice your breath. Before we begin, take a moment to get quiet. And if you're at home and there's people home with you, then you'll allow those noises, distractions, just to fall into the background. This is time for you. And just softly blink open your eyes and take your arms into a cactus shape beside you. You'll keep your feet wide, mat distance apart, and begin to just simply windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And take one more round each side, one more over to the right, back to center and over to the left. And then hug your knees in towards you, wrap your arms around your shins, take a breath in. And as you exhale, take your hands to the back of your thighs and rock yourself up to seated. So if you have blocks, you can go ahead and place those blocks hip distance apart, and you'll step your feet up onto them. Again, you don't need the blocks. You can totally do this without. And then feel the low back and the pelvis connecting to the mat, and your heels pressing down into the mat or onto the floor or onto the blocks. And start to knit your bottom ribs in. So we start to find this as subtle core work, that kind of corset effect of everything cinching in. It's really subtle. It's not like you're trying to like flex your abs or anything like that. Just keeping a little bit of support. And as you lift your hips up, you're gonna, instead of rolling through the spine, you'll lift your low back and your pelvis up at the same time and press your heels down and just lift up until you can feel some tone through the glutes. And then just take a moment to set that into your body, heels pressing down. And as you go down, you'll set your low back and your pelvis down like it's one unit, so you're not rolling up and down the spine. And remember, we're not back bending, we're just starting to fire up the glutes a little. So inhale to slowly lift up, squeezing the glutes, and exhale slowly, come down. And continue a few more like that, and really notice as soon as you press your heels down, you want to use the strength of the glutes to lift the hips up. So we're not relying on lower back here to do the work. Come up and squeeze, and then exhale and slowly tap down. So continue a few more on your own, and trying to stick with that firing pattern. So the glutes start to fire up first. So you feel the glutes lift up. Ultimately, the lower back muscles will turn on regardless eventually, but we're trying to switch up, fire the glutes to lift up. Keep that subtle tone through your center, and then slowly lower down. Now you're going to continue with that, or you'll join me as you lift your hips up. This time the left foot is going to lift. Bring your hands onto your frontal hip bones, and this is your guide. You're feeling your frontal hip bones to keep the pelvis level. So try to keep it like you had like a ruler across as you lift up. So feel both sides lift evenly, and then slowly lower down. Keep the left foot lifted. The knee can be bent, doesn't need to be straight, doesn't have to be fancy. Slowly lift up, press the heel down. Try to keep your hip bones lifting at the same time. So feel as you lower, both sides of your pelvis touch down at the same time. You should be doing this really slow, really controlled. Again, lift up, drive the heel down, and slowly lower. Feel that work happening on the right side for sure. And last one, nice and controlled, lift and lower. Set your left foot down onto the floor of the block, whatever you're using. Take a moment, feel level pelvis, knit the bottom ribs in, drive the left heel down, lift your right foot up, and slowly lift up. Drive the heel down, lift, squeeze. And right away you'll notice which side is a little bit stronger. Slowly lifting, so you'll feel your stronger side's going to be a lot less wobbly. It'll be easier to drop the pelvis down on both sides. Now for me, it's actually my left side that's stronger. I think it's, a solid 13 years of demoing, like mirroring first. So, You guys are always on your right first and I'm on my left. And lift up. And lower down. Last one, press down and lift. And lower down, set your right foot down. Let's do 3 more here. So again, just take a moment, don't rush into it. Knit your bottom ribs in, drive the heels, feel the glutes squeeze as you lift. And nice slow lower. For 2 more, lift up. And lower down, make sure the breath is free and full. Nice and smooth, lift up. And lower down. And then bring your legs into a figure 4, starting with the right side. You can just keep your foot on the block if that's working for you. If you need a little bit of a deeper stretch, then you can hold for the shin or the back of left thigh. And just simply switch sides, left ankle on top. And let that go. Rock yourself up just to slide your blocks off to either side. And we're going to come into a boat pose. So take your hands to the back of your thighs to start. So you can stay right here. I want you to know your options. And if you are here, try to use the work in your center more than the work with the arms. So you just start to get lighter in your fingertips. Maybe the arms reach forward. So option 1, option 2, option 3, you'll join me in a low boat. And option 4, we're going to add a few rocks. If you can, biceps beside your ears, get a little bit of momentum to come up. And as you come down, low back tucks down, lowers down and you come up. So it's not like a huge rock. Go back and forward. So tap down. Come up, trying a little pause. For 3 more, go back, come forward, pause. Last 2, legs are nice and strong. Last one, rock back, come up and hold, maybe arms reach forward. And take a breath in, and then exhale, bring the knees in towards you. And separate your knees, come into a nice easy butterfly shape and drop your head down. And slowly round up, help your knees together, reach for one of your blocks. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. Come down onto your backs and bring your legs into a tabletop shape. So just a little bit more of that transverse work. You can work with your hands on your belly if you find that helpful. Cinching everything in towards midline, lower back connected to the mat. And if you have a block or something like a pillow, then you're squeezing it between the inner legs. And as you inhale, slowly lower, keeping a 90-degree bend with the knees. You're hinging from the hip. Exhale, squeeze the block and come back up. Knees stack on top of hips. And continue this on your own a few times. Again, movement, nice and slow, nice and controlled, really precise. Inhale, slowly lower. Squeeze the block and exhale, come up. And let's do 2 more. Last one. And take the block, place it off to one side. Right away, rock yourself up to seated. A couple roll downs. Inhale, reach the arms up. Walk your feet a little bit further forward than they would be for a tabletop. Exhale, reach arms forward and start to C-shape your spine. Now this is harder than it looks if it's the first time you've done it. You're trying to lower down and create a C shape in your spine, which is really counterintuitive to a lot of stuff we do in yoga. But you're trying to touch down each bone at a time. So we slowly, and right about here, it starts to get tough as you start to eliminate or try to eliminate that speed bump in the lower back. So pause here. At the parts where it gets really tough, I want you to pause and then lower down 1 inch. And come all the way down, then reach your arms back behind you, breathe in. And then exhale. You can do this with the legs straight. It's going to be more challenging with straight legs, so I would try keeping the knees bent to begin. Then exhale, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Start to C-shape your spine, and we're coming up just as slow for 8, 7, 6, you're halfway at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now at the top, reach up and get nice and long. Maybe you try this with straight legs if you found that easy. If you find this super challenging, then try to find something to put your feet against. So you could slip up to the wall and plant your feet on the wall as well if you couldn't keep your feet down in the lowering version. All right, lower down. 8, 7. So the goal here is not to use hip flexors to come down. 6. So it gets really tricky here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, reach arms back. Exhale, reach forward. Tuck chin in towards chest. So if your legs are long like mine, legs are solid. Maybe you have your feet against the wall. Come up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back into that nice diamond shape with your legs, nice and easy. Let your head go. So that core work at the beginning is really going to help to support us through the rest of our practice here. And the hard part is really finding the precision of that movement, that awareness as we do come into our standing postures. So that subtle core work is what helps to support your spine. All right, so if you want to use your blocks, go ahead and just start to move through a few rounds of cat and cow. And take a breath in and lift your chest. Exhale and round. Inhale your heart forward. And exhale, go back. Do a few more on your own. I'm just going to check in, make sure you guys are still with me. Oh yes, thank you. You guys are getting so good at Instagram, reminding me that I do not own the rights to the music. Shift back. So if you like, you can flex the toes up towards the sky, or you just keep the foot down. Your back heel is going to be lifted. We're going to keep this nice long stance, but still intend your heel down. So even though my back heel doesn't touch, by pressing it down, I'm still able to get a nice stretch through my Achilles on the left side and my calf. And bend your front knee, inhale. And shift back, exhale. Bend your front knee. Into your downward facing dog. And pedal your feet one at a time. And then take your left leg back and up. Bend your knee and open up your top hip and begin to make circles with your top knee. And then take it in the opposite direction. Then straighten and square off. Exhale, bring your knee in towards you and step forward. Again, maybe using your blocks. So 3 like this, holding the first one for a breath. And go ahead and shift back. Press your right heel down. And bend your front knee, inhale. And shift back, exhale. And one more, inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale and shift back. Slide your blocks off to the side, step back, downward facing dog. And take your right leg back and up. Bend your knee and open up your top hip. Press your palms, reach right knee high. Straighten and square off. Exhale, bring your knee in towards you and step. And take a breath in and lunge forward. Exhale and shift back. And bend your front knee. And here's a change. If you're using your blocks, have them directly underneath your hands. Otherwise, you can do this on your fingertips. You want to try to get a little height. We're going to hop switch. So depending on the flexibility or length in your legs, I like to use blocks here. And we're going to hop switch again. And then we're going to crawl to the left long edge of the mat. Side lunge. So bend deeply into your left knee. Keep the outer border of the right foot down so you feel a stretch through the inner right leg. And then see the top of the mat and turn and pivot, hands to frame your front foot, and step back, maybe into a one-legged plank, and little tiny pulses. So feel the right glute lighting up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep the leg lifted, lower all the way to your belly, and take cobra. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lower down. Press yourself up, table or plank. Downward facing dog. Left leg back and up. Bend your knee and open up your hip. Straighten and square. Exhale, bring knee in towards you and step. So lunging forward, we've got 2. Inhale. And exhale. And bend your front knee. And shift your hips back. Bend your front knee. So here's the hop switch. So make sure your blocks are directly underneath or you're on your fingertips. And try to get a little more buoyant. Try to stay light in your feet. And then crawl to the right long edge of the mat. Side lunge right. Top of the mat, turn and pivot. Hands frame front foot. It's plank or one-legged plank, pulsing the left leg for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep it lifted or set it down as you lower. And take cobra. Inhale. Exhale. Press yourself up, table or plank. Downward facing dog. Right leg to sky, bend your knee, open your hip. Straighten and square, exhale, bring the knee in. Step forward, inhale, lunge. Exhale, shift back. We add another hop switch here. Lunge forward, hop switch for 3, 2, 1. Now we crawl again to the right. And back to the top of the mat. So it's your opposite foot in front. Step back into your plank. Pulse 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. Press back up. Downward facing dog. So you can keep the foot lifted that whole time. Left leg to sky. Bend your knee. Open up your hip. Straighten and square. Exhale. Bring knee in towards you. Step forward. Lunge forward. Breathe in. And shift back, breathe out. Lunge forward, we hop switch. 3, 2, 1. Crawl to the left, lunge left, bend into your left knee, right leg straight. See top of the mat, turn and pivot. Hands frame right foot, one-legged plank, and then it's a one-legged push-up. Downward facing dog. And just take a few breaths here. Begin to walk your hands back to your feet. And just let your torso drape over your legs. Take ragdoll. Deep breath in. Release your hand, shake out your head. And from here, belly in towards spine, just begin to round up. Head's the last thing to lift. And when you get to the top, roll the shoulders down and back a few times. And just step up to the top of your mat and find Tadasana. Take a breath in stillness. Arms to sky, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, step back into plank. And take a breath in, look forward and lean forward. So exhale, you can choose. I'm going to take a push-up here, go all the way down, all the way up, and go back to downward facing dog for 3 breaths. You can do that push-up, of course, from your knees. And let yourself drop in your down dog. Just close your eyes. You've got time. And lift your heels and bend your knees. Come up to the top of the mat and breathe in and lengthen your spine. Exhale and fold. Arms to sky, breathe in. Hands to heart. Ground down and reach up. Exhale and fold. And take that half lift. Step back into your plank and you choose from your knees to your toes. Can you give me 1 push-up? And go back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. And lift your heels, bend your knees. Step or lightly hop. Take a breath in and lengthen. Empty and fold. Reach up. And bring your hands to your heart. Last round, inhale. Exhale. Half lift. Step your feet back. So nice and strong through the core and through the legs as you look forward and lean forward. Lower down. Press up. Downward facing dog. And lift your heels. Bend your knees. Come to the top. Take breath in, lengthen, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, fold, relax your neck. Arms to sky. Hands to heart. Just pause here for a moment. And toe heel your feet together. So you're coming into chair pose. So toe your feet together and start to bend your knees. Bring your hands to your heart and feel your outer hips hugging in. So as you pick up your right foot, you're going to try not to lay your left hip out to the side. So you're going to keep it tacking in. So maybe bringing your hands onto your outer left hip, and all you're going to do is tap your right foot to the right, keep the bend in the left knee, and come back to center. Tap back, center. Again, right, center, back, center. Now stand in your right foot, pause. So before you pick up the foot, find stability, pick up your left foot, tap left, center, right, to the back, center. Tap left, center, to the back, and back to center. Straighten your legs and reach up. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Now you choose. Downward facing dog, or if you want to move through a vinyasa here, you can take it. Pull your belly in, send your hips back, downward facing dog. Take your right leg back and up. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Straighten and square. Exhale, right knee, right tricep. Take it over to the left and in towards center, and land right foot beside right thumb tip. Your feet are on separate tracks. Rise up, high crescent lunge. So you're gonna bring your hands to your heart and lean forward. Either bringing your fingertips down, it's okay if your knees bent, or your hands to a block, or you can hold on to a couch if you have one nearby. And you're gonna lengthen your spine, lengthen your back leg. This is your inhale. And on your exhale, bend deeply into both knees and tap your left knee either to your right calf, behind the knee, or maybe to the ankle. Then inhale to re-lengthen, left leg back, and exhale to tap down. One more like this, breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, extend back, bend deeply into your right knee, take a big step back with your left foot. Hands come down, step back, downward facing dog. Take your left leg back and up, bend your knee, crop that top leg in half. Straighten and square, take it to the left tricep. Cat shaping your spine over to the right, in towards center, land your left foot. Separate tracks with the feet. Rise up, high crescent lunge. And take a moment to settle in here and breathe. And bringing your hands to your heart, leaning forward. So maybe your hand just come to the floor. If your hands are on the floor, keep that knee bent. Lengthen your back leg, inhale. Exhale, bend deeply into both knees. Tap right knee behind left leg somewhere. Inhale, extend. And exhale, tap down. Again, breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, extend. Bend deeply into left knee. Step back. High crescent lunge. Exhale, bring your hands down, frame your front foot. Step back, vinyasa or down dog. And lift your heels, bend your knees. Come up to the top, take a breath in and lengthen your spine. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips, come into chair. Find an interlace behind you, open your chest and fold. Release your hands down, come back up into your chair and bring your hands to your heart. Stand in your left foot, pick up your right, tap to the right, center, back, center, one more to the right, center, back, center, switch sides. Stand in your right foot, pick up your left, tap left, center, to the back, together, and again, one more to the left, one more back. Straighten your legs and reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Move through a vinyasa or downward facing dog. And from down dog, just take your right leg back and up. Exhale, take it to the right tricep, and then tap the left. In towards nose, land your right foot. Crescent lunge. And take a breath, arrive. Exhale, hands to heart, lean forward. Maybe hands to blocks, take a breath in. 2 times, exhale, tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale and tap. Inhale, extend. Now here's the change. You're gonna start to bend deeply into both of your knees. So think of a chair pose in both legs. So those of you who've done this with me before, I call it a rocking horse. Core strong, hands to heart. We slowly rock up, keeping the standing leg bent. And then tip forward without rounding the spine. So like you're just pivoting and rotating from that right hip socket. Tip forward. And one more, come up. And go back. Lengthen both your legs, warrior 3. Feels oddly good. Bend into your right knee, take a big step back and reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. And maybe you're stepping back into that one-legged plank, pulsing 4, 3, 2, One, maybe it's a one-legged push-up and downward facing dog. And take your left leg back and up. Exhale, bring your knee in towards you and land your left foot. Crescent lunge, arms to sky. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, come forward, find your blocks, take a breath in and lengthen. Exhale, one-legged squat, tap the right knee to the back of left leg. Breathe in. Just one more, breathe out. Inhale. Now start to bend into both your knees. Gather that strength through your core, hands to your heart. We come to stand into this one-legged chair pose. Maintain the length in your spine. Tip your chest forward. Keep squeezing your right heel to your seat. And again, come up. Come forward. Extend, lengthen both legs, warrior three. Tuck your left hip back, right hip down. Bend into your standing leg. Take a big step back. Reverse your warrior. Cartwheel your hands down. One-legged plank, pulse. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Maybe you're taking that push-up and going back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in down dog. You can drop down to your knees or grab yourself a little sip of water. And take a moment. Come back to your breath wherever you are, downward facing dog or seated with me or child's pose. Come forward onto your hands and knees. Step back, downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, come up to the top. Breathe in and lengthen. Breathe out and fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips, come into chair. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, start to squat down low. You're dropping down. It's either that same boat at the beginning, arms forward, or you're taking a few rocks with me for 3, 2, and 1. Find a hold. Reach your arms forward, cross your ankles, and just step back. Downward facing dog, or you can add a little flow in there. I'll wait for you here. From downward facing dog, right leg to sky. Exhale, right tricep, tap the left into your nose and land the right foot. High crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to heart, lean forward just one time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and tap. Inhale, lengthen. Bend into both of your knees. Hands to your heart. Come into that rocking horse 2 times. Keep the bend in the standing leg. I know it's hard. Tip forward. One more time. Come up. Go back. And this time, as you begin to lengthen your legs, we're opening up for half moon. Hug that outer hip in on your standing leg. Your block, hopefully close by if you needed to balance your fingertips on. Bend deeply into your standing leg. Take a big step back. Reverse your warrior. Breathe in. Left side skater. So turn and pivot on your heels. Lunge to the left. And then it's easy twist. Right hand down. Left arm up. Stay right here. Or take this into wild thing. Gaze down. Left foot steps. Back of the mat. And side lunge right. Bend into your right knee. Turn and pivot to the top of your mat. Ground your palms. Step back. Maybe pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe push up. Downward facing dog. Lift your heels. Bend your knees. We start again. Top of the mat. Breathe in. Empty and fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips, chair pose. Exhale, hands to heart. Start to squat down low. Nice and gracefully take that seat into your boat pose. You know your options. Hands here, forward, low bowed, or 3 rocks. For 3, 2, and 1. Find a hold. Cross your ankles, step back, vinyasa or down dog. Whew, last side. Left leg, breathe in. Exhale, take it to left tricep and over to the right. In towards nose, step forward. High crescent lunge. Hands to heart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and tap. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale, start to bend into both of your knees. A little awkward shape. Core strong, hands to heart. We begin to lift the chest and rock up and then tip forward. Again, rise up and lean forward. Begin to lengthen your legs. Keep that outer hip hugging in like you're lifting up out of your hip socket as you come into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Bend deeply. Nice big step back. Reverse your warrior. Right side skater. Turn and pivot, easy twist. And get lighter in your right foot. You can stay in your easy twist or wild thing. Gaze down. Land your right foot, crawl left, lunge left. Turn and pivot. Hands frame left foot. One-legged plank pulse 4. 3, 2, 1. Maybe one more push-up here. Downward facing dog. And begin to walk your hands back to your feet and take a nice ragdoll at the back of your space. Release your arms. Bring your hands up to your shins so you can lengthen your spine. And then bring your left hand down. Bend into your left knee. Keep your right leg long and open your right hand up towards the sky. So you're twisting right leg straight. Left knee bent a lot. And breathe in. Bring your right hand down. Bend both of your knees. Right hand down. Left leg straight, left arm reaches. And slowly come down, gaze forward, crawl forward into your downward facing dog, and you're gonna take pigeon on your right side. So you choose your option. You can take 90-90 with me, sitting over into the outer right hip, back leg bent behind you, and then finding a place where you can come forward. Take the weight off the wrist. So you might grab pillows or a block here to rest onto. And come forward and sit over onto one side. Bring your legs around in front, lengthen your right leg forward, bring the sole of the left foot to the inner leg, and square your shoulders towards your straight leg as you breathe in and reach up. And exhale, nice and easy, fold. I partnered up with Lululemon for their challenge that they're doing with Strava, so we're hoping to have a big crew on there. Thank you guys. Namaste.